Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician, and today we're going to be going into the Harbor Freight website and checking out their impact drivers. So if you guys follow the channel, you guys might know that recently I've been going over certain categories at Harbor Freight, whether that be wrenches, ratchets, things like that, and discussing either the top 5 or top 10 items in that category. Can't really do that with the impact drivers because they only have 7, so we'd be removing Warrior and probably the 12 volt Hercules, and that's all your choices. So we're just going to go over them. I'll tell you kind of my thoughts on them, some things to keep in mind, and then we'll just kind of go over kind of what order they go in from worst to best. And in no way, shape, or form do I dislike Hercules or Bauer. I think Harbor Freight has done a fantastic job expanding into these cordless power tool lineups, having the two. And I hope they continue to expand within those two brands to kind of bring us everything that we see from the big name brands. Because even though these aren't going to be used a whole lot in the professional field on a day-to-day basis, it's going to be really great for those weekend warrior DIYers that do a decent amount of work. And if they have a wide variety of cordless tools available, then they can stick with that one brand. It's really irritating, especially for me, to have more than 1 or 2 brands. I specifically stick with DeWalt and Milwaukee. I run the DeWalt 20 volt and the Milwaukee 12 volt. They basically have everything I could need, truthfully, so I don't expand out of that. I don't want to worry about multiple different batteries, multiple different chargers, and multiple different brands of tools. So I just stick to those two. Now, I've used a lot of other brands, but I only own those two when it comes to cordless tools. I do have a bunch of corded tools that are different brands, but that doesn't really matter. But I think Hercules and Bauer are a great addition to the Harbor Freight lineup. Honestly, starting off, the Warrior is obviously the bottom of the barrel, $40 for a cordless tool with a battery. And honestly, just if you're going to Harbor Freight, these Bauer and Hercules tools are cheap enough the way they are. There's no need to literally go pinching a couple dollars with the Warrior stuff. It's just not worth it. Get something that's going to be a little bit better quality. The Warrior stuff is not great. I don't think it's worth the money. I would much rather spend a little bit extra money to get the Bauer or Hercules lineup. Harbor Freight has just recently started doing these kits. Here you see the Bauer kit and the Hercules kit, not even a year ago. Before, you had to buy the tool and then the battery and then the charger. And that was kind of irritating because a lot of people would go in, they'd see this tool, oh, $40, that's a great deal. If they don't already run that lineup, then they're stuck buying a battery, at least $25. And then they're stuck buying a charger as well, probably another $25. Before you know it, you're already at $100 or more. And at that point, you can go to Home Depot, Lowe's, and they always have deals going on. Even better deals around specific holidays. But you can get tons and tons of different kits for $100 or just around $100. Here's just one example, the DeWalt. Now, this isn't a great impact driver from DeWalt, but it's decent. DeWalt definitely has much better impact drivers, but for $100 you get a battery, a charger, a bag, and the tool, and it's a larger battery than what you would get with the tool kit from Harbor Freight. And then like the Milwaukee, I have this kit. It didn't come with all that. I just bought the tool by itself, but for $129 you get the tool, battery, bag, charger, and this one's just throwing in some bits and drill bits. So that's a fantastic deal. And this isn't even near a holiday. Like, you can find even better deals around holidays. So if you're just now buying your first cordless tool, maybe Harbor Freight's a place that you go to most often, then yeah, I think they're both great brand options to consider. And the kits are definitely a good deal, but just always make sure to do your research and check out Home Depot, Lowe's, and the other tool websites, because a lot of the times you can get some really good big name brand stuff for really good pricing, but you can also get really good deals on these as well. It's just, don't be fooled by, low prices. These are nice if you already have that battery lineup and you don't have to worry about buying, more batteries or charger, then yeah, these are great prices. But when you buy them individually, it adds up to a lot of the big name brand prices. So just keep that in mind and be aware of that. So on the lowest end, like I said, it's the Warrior. It's the 18 volt 1/4 inch. And this thing, it's $600 inch-pounds. I think that's like 50 foot-pounds of torque. It is an impact driver, but that's still very low for an impact driver. It is brushed. Honestly, I just stay away from the Warrior stuff. It's cheap enough to go up to the Bauer or Hercules lineup and get something of quite a bit better quality and quite a bit more power. And that one's at $40. Next up would be even though Bauer is kind of the second best and then Hercules is the top of the line, this is the Bauer 12 volt. So Hercules doesn't even have a 12 volt. So this is the only impact driver available in 12 volt. And this one has 1,000 inch-pounds of torque, so it's already more than the Warrior, and it's a 12 volt lineup. It's got built-in LED, variable speed trigger, no different modes or anything like that. Pretty basic, but still a decent little one for $40. But Hercules' main lineup is going to be the 20 volt. So after the Hercules 12 volt, you're going to be looking at basically this kit over here, the 20 volt. Quarter inch, well, they're all quarter inch, they're all impact drivers. You see this image here, this is Trickery, this is their brushless impact driver, but this one is not brushless. This is a brushed unit, $60. You're going to get the impact driver, the 1.5 amp hour battery with the charger. There is no other modes, so it's just a variable speed trigger, I believe, and that's it. You do have 3 built-in LEDs. Still a decent little impact driver. I want to say this one's around 1,300 inch-pounds, which is like 105, 106 foot-pounds. Don't quote me on that. I'm just kind of guesstimating over here. And so some decent power out of this, even though it's a brushed unit. It's still decent power for a really good price at $60 to include a battery and a charger, and that's not even on deal. I bought a kit last month and ended up getting a free battery with it, so an additional battery. So that was a great deal. Sub $100 for 2 batteries, a bag, a charger, and a drill. I thought that was a pretty good deal. So after that kit, you got the better of the two for the Bauer lineup. This is going to be a brushless quarter-inch impact driver. A little bit different design here, a little bit stubbier. You are going to have different modes as well. It does kind of seem like a cheap mode selector for sure, instead of having, a physical button, or, it's kind of just one of those button inlays with like a piece of plastic, like a plastic sticker over it. And so it's not the highest quality there, but the build quality of the rest of the impact driver is good. And you got the brushless motor on here and quite a bit more power than the other one as well. I think this one's 2,000 inch-pounds, and that's going to be around 165 foot-pounds. 50% more power, 10% faster charging, 10% more compact than the Bauer brushed impact driver. Overall, I think this is a really good unit for $40. And then if you buy the 1.5 amp hour battery, you're at $70. Buy a charger, you're at $30. There you're at $100 for the unit, but it's a pretty decent unit. So I think that's a good deal. $100 if you're all in it, brand new for the 3 pieces. But once you're at that $100, that's when you need to start looking at other brands, see what kind of deals they got going on with other brands. After that, we move into the Hercules, which is kind of their top tier, but we'll look at the bottom of the line impact driver for the 20 volt Hercules lineup. And then here, it's basically just the bare tool and then the kit. So this one is at $25. I don't know if this one's getting ready to be discontinued or not. It's usually when they have things on clearance like this, or when they've recently released a upgraded version. But this one is, I would actually place this one below what the lower end Bauer one was. This one's at 1,500 inch-pounds. I think that one was 1,300 inch-pounds. But I think that just the build quality of the Bauer one just seemed a little bit better. This one's got the single LED, at least the other one has the 3 LEDs around the snub nose, which I prefer over the single LED below. And then this is a brushed motor as well, just like the lower end Bauer. Variable speed trigger with up to 1,500 inch-pounds. And whether you're a weekend warrior DIYer and using this for drywall work or automotive work, woodwork, Just depending on how much you're going to use this tool will depend on if you can get by with a brushed unit or if you should go with the brushless. Because honestly, most of the time, not counting this right now because this is on clearance for $25, but like the difference between this and this, brushed and brushless, you're going to get a little bit more life out of the brushless. And depending on how much work you do and how often is going to depend on if you can get by, because brushed units are not bad. They just don't have the life of a brushless unit, really. And you can get a little bit more power with a little bit smaller size with the brushless units as well. So I still think the brushed units are still good. There's still plenty of people out there that can get by with them and save a little bit of money. And then looking at, we'll just go ahead and look at the kit, this one being $70, this one being $100. So just looking at the kit, $98, that's a good deal. Once again, you're at that $100 price range. You need to start comparing it to some other brands out there, big name brand ones, just in case you can find some better deals on maybe a little bit more powerful one or something with a bigger battery. But this one does have a mode selector. This one is actually quite powerful for a compact impact driver. This is 2,200 inch-pounds. I want to say that's around 180, mid 180 foot-pounds, which is very impressive for an impact driver. It's very compact compared to some of the other ones as well. There you can kind of see the mode selector there. Nothing too fancy about it either. The charger and the battery. So you got a 3-speed impact driver, and it has 4 mode selector for speeds 1, 2, and 3, plus an auto mode for self-tapping. With the brushless motor, it's 20% more compact, yet operates 50% faster, delivering 2,200 inch-pounds of max torque. All of them have had, all metal gear construction. It's not something new. Variable speed trigger, which I would hate to have an on-off switch on an impact driver. And this one does include a 2 amp hour battery. And so I think that's a good deal. It's got the tri-lights on the snub nose. I prefer that lighting setup over the single, like I stated earlier. I think Harbor Freight's done a good job. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the Hercules and Bauer lineup, and what are some tools that you would like to see them include maybe in the future. I would like to see maybe some cutoff tools and some cordless ratchets, because I know those are two very, very, very popular items in the power tool market. And I think if they could bring us something that isn't complete garbage, still get us some quality there for those lineups at a decent price, I think those would sell extremely well. So that's it as far as the Bauer and Hercules lineup of impact drivers. Like I said, I don't even suggest the Warrior stuff. Spend a little bit extra and get yourself a Bauer or Hercules. Or once you get to that $100 mark, start looking for those deals on big name brands. But I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.